This is Felt Recoil.
This is the Felt Recoil podcast. And my name is Kris. And we're a little late getting the podcast out this week. You probably don't notice, but I'll just tell you in case you do. I'll acknowledge it. On a related note, if you know any audio recording programs that aren't named Adobe Audition that work correctly all the time, I'd love to know. We were scheduled this week to have our friend Kris sit in and talk about his foray into the precision rifle shooting community. That's a thing he's picking up. Kris is big in the three-gun community. He's very, very good at three-gun competition. He's now walking into the precision rifle shooting world, and I wanted to dive into that. And so he came by, we talked for a while, and then everything Adobe crashed, and I couldn't recover the file. So you're getting just me instead, because now it's the next morning, and here I am talking to you. So this week, it'll be me solo, and I'm just going to give you some stories I think you should read, some stuff to fill your day with as you go around and you want to be mad at the world. Well, here's all the ammunition you need, but also something rather funny that happened last night. I'll share that with you as well, okay? Our charity of choice this week is the Greenville War Fund. If you go to greenvillewarfund.com, that's greenvillewarfund.com. That's the web home for the War Fund, which exists to assist the wounded and recovering officers of Greenville County here in South Carolina. It is possible for a sheriff's deputy to be shot in the line of duty and then for all the money to run out. The department will reach a point where it stops paying. Insurance will reach a point where it stops paying. And the deputy is left on his or her own to carry the financial burden. And that's not right. I don't think it's right. Maybe you don't think it's right either. And if you agree, then you can visit greenvillewarfund.com and find ways to get involved and to donate. They have a 5K charity run walk coming up in May. They have all the details there at greenvillewarfund.com. And if that's too hard to remember, just go to feltrecoilshow.com, and we have our charities of choice listed there, and they'll be at the very, very top. Okay? Thank you for that. Let's start. Where do we start? There's so much going on that it's hard to know these days the right place to start. I guess we start with the fact that while America is focused on the Parkland shooting, ISIS tried to detonate a bomb inside a school in Utah, and nobody seems to care to talk about it. Also, there are no anti-ISIS, anti-bomb rallies happening. There's also no rallies happening to chill our freedom of religion, because Islam has again inspired someone to murder innocent people. It is the strangest thing to me that Islam is left unchecked because everyone's afraid to talk about it. But when a madman walks into a school with a gun, and then the government fails at every level possible, when the government doesn't do the only job it has, which is to protect the people and the people's rights, by the way. The government didn't grant your rights. The initial government of this country just acknowledged what they were and told you how the government was restricted from infringing on them. That's what the Constitution is. It's basically a document that outlines what the government isn't allowed to do. So anyway, nobody's taken to the streets now to tell us how Islam has proven time and time again that it will continue, left unchecked, it will continue to murder innocent people, but nobody wants to mention that. No moms against Muslims out there, okay? It's just moms against guns. Moms demand action. And impassioned, albeit misguided, teenagers out there telling us we're not mature enough to own these firearms, but we are smart enough to rewrite federal policy. We are smart enough to tell you that the founding fathers, who lived more of a lifetime by the time they were my age than I ever will, and than any of us will, they got it wrong. You think any of these kids have read any John Locke? You think any of them have? Maybe they have. You think they've studied any of the ancient philosophers? They've studied any sort of economics? Do you think they've studied anything outside of what the high school has told them to study? And they're going to tell us that the founders got it wrong. Okay. But none of them are bothered by the fact that a Utah teen has tried to detonate a bomb at his high school. On Monday, law enforcement officials in Utah arrested a teenager, according to the Daily Wire, dailywire.com. They arrested the teenager after he brought a homemade bomb to school and tried to detonate it, which authorities said would have led to a significant loss of life. Officials said the homemade bomb started emitting smoke at Pineview High School, at which point the high school was immediately evacuated and kids were sent home. A warrant served at the male juvenile's home, and items were found consistent with the materials used to build the device. Police also said the suspect had been researching information and expressing interest in ISIS and promoting the organization. It was determined that if the device had detonated, it would have caused significant injury or death. The suspect, whom law enforcement did not identify, was taken into custody and initially charged with manufacture, possession, sale, use, or attempted use of a weapon of mass destruction. Now, if we would just make weapons of mass destruction illegal, if we could get some common sense reform on that, this wouldn't have been a problem, but I digress. The Daily Wire continues. The same suspect also allegedly took down an American flag at Hurricane High School and replaced it with an ISIS flag. He also allegedly spray painted on the side of the building, "ISIS is coming," but didn't get to finish it because he ran off when someone showed up. So, ISIS in Utah, but your Second Amendment needs to be infringed upon. Okay? Now, with that, let's move to this woman, Karen Mallard, I believe her name is running for Congress out of Virginia. Karen wants to be elected to Congress. And this is a great lesson in, I used to work for a state senator, Cecil Staten. And Cecil is now embroiled in a new controversy, I'll add, in North Carolina. He's like the chancellor of a university up there, something like that. And not necessarily the smartest guy in the room. And I don't think he would argue that. He's a good politician. He's good at getting people to like him. But I remember being in his car after he voted to make texting while driving illegal in the state of Georgia, and he was texting while driving. And I said, didn't you just vote to make this illegal? And he laughed. I laughed. But there was, there's some truth there. And these politicians do believe they're above you and they're above me. They're a different class of people, which is why places like the state of Florida will pass laws that say this is the law for the people, and then here's the law for law enforcement, elected officials, and so on. I have a massive problem with that, but we'll get to that next. First, here's Karen Mallard for Congress via her own Facebook page. Her own Facebook page. She got her husband's AR-15 out and decided they were going to destroy it because, well, one of these high schoolers told them they should. So here's her doing that. This is her.
Karen Mallard.
Hey,
I grew
Karen.
up in Wise County, surrounded by guns. Our family had guns my whole life. We used them for hunting, for protection, and recreation.
Okay.
A while back, my husband bought this AR-15.
Oh, that's nice.
I wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
And after last week,
Okay.
I told him I wanted this gun out of my house.
What did he do?
And he agreed with me.
Wait, what did he do last week?
And then we saw Emma Gonzalez's speech.
Who?
And we realized we didn't want this gun in anybody else's house either.
So don't
So
sell it.
today, we're going to destroy it.
What? That's a process to destroy